If you ask the average high school student, most of them know who Rosa Parks is. They know who Harriet Tubman is, and those are both obviously extraordinary women. But I would say that Dr. Height is one of those incredibly, immensely influential figures of the civil rights movement that not enough students know enough about or to know her name. And that's one of the reasons I was so touched that Google paid tribute to her, because I think there are a lot of students who will. Can you talk a little bit about who some of the other women that you both feel are the unsung heroes that we should all know and we should all leave here and go home and Google?
Well, I think Dr. Giddings mentioned a lot of them, but in the case of teaching our children about their heroes and sheroes, you can't teach what you don't know. And I remember when we were attending predominantly black schools, black history was really big in those schools. So I sometimes go to schools now and I see that people do attempt to teach black history, but I think we lost the opportunity to know so much about our ancestors when we moved from our schools and moved into other schools. And I'm not suggesting that was wrong. All I'm saying is we did lose something because we didn't get as much of our history as we normally would have gotten. But there are many women whose names will probably never be known because women were marginalized even in the civil rights movement. We're just beginning to read about some of them. Dr. Giddings mentioned a lot of them, like Fannie Lou Hamer. I mean, Fannie Lou was a very strong woman, did many things. There was just you know, think about it, Rosa Parks. She named Rosa Parks. But Ella Baker, she's mentioned her. Those are the ones we kind of know. But then there are many others who did many things. Diane Nash is probably one of the most unsung sheroes that we have. This was a young woman, very young. I know the others were young at one time, but Diane was just in her early 20s when she was directing the Freedom Rides and when she had to deal with a bus being burned down and finding more people and inspiring them to go down south to ride those buses. So I praise Diane Nash all the time. And of course, there were the Ladner sisters, whose names we
Joyce.
don't often hear. Yes,
Yes,
Dory and Joyce. There are just so many that it's hard to name all of them. And then we had the pre-civil rights women, and then we got the post-civil rights. But I still think we're in the civil rights period, so I could name some of those too who are doing many things.